Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and this week I'm going to share with you a new product that I just recently found and I love. It's Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper, and it's on a roll. So we can print and print and print, and before you know it, you'll have 6 yards of fun collage paper. That is why I love all paper on a roll. So I just recently found this product. You can use it unpainted. You can layer it because it's translucent. You can paint it, print it, stamp it. You can do so many different things to it, and your 6 yards of paper will give you a wide variety of uses in collage. It's translucent, it's thin, it glues down nice. Heck, let's go check it out. So today I am working with some really cool paper, and that is Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper. And this particular pattern is called Typeset Composer. It is 6 yards long, which is a decent amount of paper, and for not a bad price. It's about $8, and it's going to be on my Amazon shopping page, my Amazon resource page, and that link is in your upper right hand corner, as will be all supplies, and you can click up there at any time. So it comes in a tube roll, and what I like about it is that it's translucent. First of all, it has this great pattern on it designed by Tim Holtz, and who doesn't love that? So this is beautiful with all the typed fonts. I chose it because I love the typed fonts and the black and white, and the way that they're all just overlapping. They just become a pattern. But it's a translucent paper. It's stronger than tissue. It sort of reminds me of deli paper, and you can see that. Let's see if I can put it over something. You can see through it. So here's my Dina Wakley scribble sticks, and you can sort of see that face through it. So you can see that it's translucent. So the benefit of that is that when we lay this down in collage, if we put it over another piece of paper, we're going to get, if we put it over a pink piece of paper or a blue piece of paper, we're going to get that color shining or glowing through. So I love this for that. Oftentimes I'll use it just as white, as black and white. But today I'm going to be painting it. And it's another one of those things that's on a roll. So it allows me to make a lot of it all at once and keep it sort of neatly tidy in the roll. So we don't want to block out any of this beautiful pattern on the paper. So for that reason, we're going to make sure we're using all transparent and translucent colors. So how do we determine that? So here's an example of an opaque color. This is Titan Green Pale. The base of it is going to be titanium white, and you see there's a swipe of color here, and you cannot see through it at all. When you look at transparent yellow oxide, that same swipe of color is showing you the black tick marks that Golden puts underneath this swipe of color so that you know the level of transparency or translucency. So clearly this color is completely opaque and this color is quite translucent. This is a great candidate to put on our Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper because it will allow all of this pattern to show through. If we use anything opaque, it's just going to block out all the design on the paper. So other colors that are opaque include chromium oxide green, teal, titanium white, Naples yellow, anything with a base of titanium. And if you're not sure, just check out the swipe marks on the front of the container. Okay, so the colors that I'm going to be using are the transparent yellow iron oxide, the burnt umber light, turquoise phthalo. Even though it's dark, you can still see the tick marks, and iridescent bronze. Now, metallics are generally pretty opaque, but I wanted this to have sort of a shimmery effect. So I'm going to show you how we're going to get this to be a little bit more translucent. So, and then I've got a stencil, my design stencil, Tropical Blossoms. This is a mask, actually. This mask is something I've designed for joggles, and you can purchase those. That link is in the upper right-hand corner. This is a 9x12 stencil, and this is a Dina Wakley Ranger gel plate that is 9x11. I had to think about that for a minute. So instead of being 8x10, this is 9x11. The beauty of that is that the 9x12 stencil does not hang off the edges like it does on an 8x10. It fills the sheet. Also, generally, I work on this pad of sketch paper, rice paper, and this pad is 9x12. So I love my 9x11 Dina Wakley gel plate. You can purchase that at Joggles. And if you want to hop on over to my blog on my webpage, all of the products are photographed at the bottom with links, and it is packaged in a nice blog post. Also, if you want to get on my mailing list, that link is in your upper right-hand corner. That is a good way to get these tutorial tidbits emailed to you with all the product links at the bottom in the blog format. So sign up for my mailing list, check out the blog. Anyway, so the 9x11 plate with the 9x12 stencil, and that works fantastic on my favorite rice paper pad, which is 9x12. So then we're filling up the whole sheet of paper. I just printed this off, for example, and that's what it looks like. You have no leftover empty space like you do with the 8x10 plate. So I love this size. All right, so moving forward. So this stencil I chose because it's quite graphic, which goes well with what's going on this paper. And it has a lot of large openings, which is going to give me a bold paint coverage. And I need a bold paint coverage to compete or to complement the bold pattern on this wonderful Tim Holtz paper. So this will be our last step. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get that metallic going. So I'm going to put the iridescent bronze in a few droplets on my plate, and then I'm going to add the transparent yellow oxide. This is a very transparent color. So when I mix those two together with my brayer, it is going to thin down and tone back the opacity of the bronze. I'm going to put a little bit more of the yellow oxide, and then I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to touch it kind of lightly so that I get sort of an effect like this. I'm not going to go for solid coverage because I'm going to come back in here with the burnt umber light and add a second color. So what I want to do is touch it lightly and just get this light pattern on the plate. Then I can touch it again, and I'm rolling it out as I do this. And I'm just getting partial coverage so that it can come in with another color. And I'm going to stop rolling it out when I get all the paint off the plate. So that is going to be how long I'm going to go on this roll. So here I've got that sort of bronze mixed with yellow coverage. Now the next color that I'm going to do is the burnt umber light, and I'm going to do that the same way. This way, I'm going to put a few drops on, and here's a different way you can get that coverage is I'm going to just lightly blend it so it's not covering the whole plate. So now I'm going to come back, and this dries so fast that I can roll it right back up. It comes off the plate so thin that I can roll it right back up so that it's a little bit easier to work with. So now I'm back to the beginning. So now I'm going to touch that lightly, and I'm going to get the brown. So, and I'm going to try to visually put that brown in the areas that were sort of left behind by the bronze. So here I'm going to just touch it up there, and I'm going to touch it down here. And then I can add it sort of selectively. So I'm going to look through it. I can see through it, and I can touch it just in small areas. And I'm going to move around the plate and sort of apply it where I want it. So here I'm getting the brown. Here's an open spot, and I'm going to grab it up here. So I'm applying the paint in places that I want it rather than a full print. So, and then I'm going to look at it and evaluate it. And this is where I stopped last time. So I want to get this color off the plate, so I'm going to come back through and put it in places that I missed. So this is giving me now the bronze and the brown and open spaces for the white. And the last step is going to be to come back with that stencil. So beautiful. Right now I've got about 3.5 feet of this that I just did. So I'm not going to worry about that color being on the plate. This is the turquoise phthalo, and I thought this would be a nice accent. So I'm going to roll this out in a solid layer. And then I'm going to put the Tropical Blossoms mask right in the middle of the plate. You can't even see it. It's blending in so well. And then I'm going to roll this back up so I can start at the beginning again. And on this stencil, we're going to do the same thing. Rather than printing a solid stencil right across all of this, I'm going to grab it in sections. So I'm going to do small parts like that, where it's going to be less looking like flowers and more looking like abstract. Some of the flowers will come through, but I'm sort of choosing where I want it to be applied and moving it around and just getting small areas of the turquoise phthalo. So I'm looking again at spots that I missed or open areas where I think that that color would look good. And I'm unrolling as I go and moving around the plate. So this is giving us a very artistic effect with this very graphic stencil, and it's definitely complementing what's going on in the Tim Holtz paper below. Now, oops, that one's really strong, but that's fine, because after all, I am going to tear this all up as collage paper. So light touches will give you nice small areas. And now I'm down at the end, so I'll come back and see if there's any places that I missed or that I want to add more. So now, one more. So now I've got this beautiful 3.5 feet of Ideology collage paper with the layering of the Tim Holtz designs and the colors and the patterns that I used on the gel plate. Now, we'll just print this off. I'm going to print that ghost print on this. Perfect. And we've got another print on there, so I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to roll out this yellow over that phthalo, and I'm going to grab my favorite rice paper pad, because this paper is smooth on one side and it's durable and sturdy. It's not going to tear, and I love it for collage. And this smooth side down on the plate really pulls off all the paint. So I often use this sheet of paper to clean my plate. Rather than wiping it off or washing it down the drain, I'm going to grab a print with this paper. The buildup around the edges, sometimes you do have to get off in an alternate way. But look at how this pulls everything off the plate. And look at this beautiful print. Wow. So that's gorgeous in and of itself. And it was just me cleaning the plate because I want to show you that if you wanted to just tint this Ideology paper so that you could totally see the pattern through it for a different application, you can just press it into the gel plate with a transparent color or a modeled transparent color. You can see that this is the modeling of the yellow and the teal. What do I mean by that? I'm going to put a little bit of the yellow and drops of the teal, and modeled means it's not blended together. So I'm going to bounce it around, and I've got the teal is so strong. Put a little bit more of the yellow, grab a clean brayer, and bring that yellow in there. Let's do a little bronze, not too much because it's opaque. Sort of model it like that and print it. So you can take this Tim Holtz paper and make it in many different colors for your collage paper stash. There we go. It's a little less see-through than this one because the paint coverage is more heavy. So it depends on how strongly you want to see the pattern. And we can do that by, we can add more yellow. Roll this whole thing out smoother. It's still mottled. And there we've got a beautiful green. So we could also do any other color to make it in our stash of collage paper. So again, let me just get everything off the plate with my favorite rice paper. The smooth side goes down. And this will be the base sheet for another collage. Again, rather than wiping it off, look at this is a beautiful base layer for another collage paper. So now I'm going to show you when I put a totally different color down, like magenta. And let's make sure we roll this brayer off onto a clean piece of paper so that we don't have green tinting our magenta. So this beautiful magenta is also a very translucent color. And so we can print the ideology paper with that. And look what it's leaving behind, because the paint is not sticking to the black as much as it's sticking to the white. So here's some lettering, and we're going to transfer that right to this green paper that we have on hand. So it's like a ghost print. So here I've transferred the ideology pattern in pink and magenta onto my green, onto my rice paper. So this is a very versatile product, and here I've got it in a hot pink. So I've got it in a hot pink with the bold Tim Holtz pattern. I've got it in a mottled green with the bold pattern, a little bit darker, so it's a little less obvious because of the bronze addition. And then, of course, the first thing that we did, making it sort of fun and funky. So this is a very versatile product. I love it. And I am definitely going to play more with transferring the pattern onto some other prepared sheets of paper. So thanks for hanging out with me. And we should all shoot Tim Holtz an email and thank him kindly for his ideology collage paper. And this is the Typeset Composer. And this is, of course, going to be on my Amazon shopping list in the upper right-hand corner. But I do encourage you, pop on over to the blog, sign up for my newsletter, be in the loop, and get this tutorial tidbit as a blog post in your email box on Fridays. And speaking of that, happy Friday, and thank you for being here.